Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 AlphaStar 1 vs 1 replay cast as we continue our trip into AlphaStar matches. So we have got Master Toss going to be taking on Alpha Terran, Alpha T, which I think is the best sounding AlphaStar name. Alpha T is just, it kind of sounds like Mr. T, but you know, Alpha T, I don't know. Who knows, maybe Mr. T plays Starcraft, that would be something. Anyway, so we'll see how the Masters player is going to do against such a strong player like AlphaStar. I mean, taking on AlphaStar is not your usual match. To this guy it is, it's just another day at the office as far as playing StarCraft 2 goes. Maybe he is playing at the office for all we know. A lot of people at home right now, so you never know. But as far as playing AlphaStar goes, man, the AI is just so tough. Like, every TVP, it usually just sends Banshees and kills its opponent. So we'll see what the Masters player will do to basically prevent that from happening. Probe comes in, gonna start being a jerk, an essential part of all Protoss play. A little bit of attacking with the probe, of making the Terran micro their SCVs a little bit. Even being a little bit more of a jerk and just attacking the SCV that was sent to replace the already attacked SCV. AlphaStar going for a Reaper. The probe can only cause so much carnage though, as it has to leave due to that Reaper building. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too long into this match, let's go ahead and slap that like button and AlphaStar. Seeing as how we got two command centers right next to each other, let's try and hit 2 likes. AlphaStar, I guess, just said, nope, not dealing with that probe attacking my natural. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and build my CC there. On the high ground. I'm not having any of it. This is an AlphaStar iteration that's maybe had a tough day on the ladder. It's been cheesed time and time again. And it's just like, nope, you know what? Not happening. I'm just gonna go ahead and build this here. The Masters player behind this is just getting up his extra pylon. Cybercore on the way, has the nice little wall to prevent the Reaper getting in easily. And then, yeah, we see just double gas. Whatever tech he'll throw up, will take. Oh, that didn't stop the Reaper getting in, now did it? Reaper kind of just ran in anyway, and I'm a little bit concerned for the Protoss player. Did he accidentally delay something or whatever? Because this Reaper is in here fast. If we take a look, that Stalker was only just getting produced, and then the Reaper kills a probe and gets on out. So that's a little bit interesting. As if we take a look, the Nexus is on the way. Usually the unit's like halfway done if you go for a gateway expand, I think, by the time the Reaper jumps in, but this Reaper's had so much time, it's got in, it's killed 2 probes. If it gets out, by gosh, I would be so sad if I was the Masters player and the Reaper just killed one of my units and got out. Looks like the next tech is going to be a Twilight Council, then a couple gateways getting thrown up for the Masters player. So potentially going to be a blink opening. It'll be a more aggressive blink opening. Lately we have seen a big time resurgence in blink openings for Protoss players, like going for 4 gates as opposed to the usual 2-gate macro opening to try and just pressure the Terrans a little bit more. Of course, the AlphaStar matches are older, so it's not like this guy knows about that meta. We see AlphaStar is going to be getting a tech lab on its starport, then just floating over its natural base, getting out a Cyclone, probably a siege tank next if I had to guess, so just a cautious macro opening for AlphaStar, all the while a blink opening for the Masters player. The Masters player, of course, could be a little bit on edge if we think about it, as he never actually saw the CC go up. So, I mean, he can probably infer that there's a CC, but as far as the Masters player knows, AlphaStar could be going for some crazy, like, 3 racks, 1-1, like a 3-1-1 or something like that, with a 3 barracks, a factory, and then a starport, so some sort of crazy 1 base, but he will come forward now and he will see the CC. I mean, it's just one of those things. A Terran's rarely going to do something crazy like that off of 1 base, but you can't rule it out. And oh my god, is this Cyclone going to get both Stalkers? If it keeps chasing, there's a chance it'll get both Stalkers, and by gosh, it has. This is not very good for the Masters player. AlphaStar totally just going to be wrecking the forces of this player with 1 Cyclone killing off 2 Stalkers. That's really well done. Usually Protoss players these days are pretty good at keeping their units alive versus Cyclones, but for now I'm looking I'm very, very concerned for our friend here. As we take a look, the Masters player has got out a few Stalkers, making an Immortal, getting up some shield batteries because he's worried about a push. AlphaStar was pushing in, planning on killing a potential third base. There is no third. Instead, the AI is just going to be pushing up with a siege tank, Cyclones, lots of Marines towards the natural of its opponent. And boy, am I ever scared right now for the Masters player. He's going to be looking for that siege tank. The tank has already sieged for AlphaStar, though. The AI essentially knows to avoid those Blink Stalkers, picking off your siege tank easily. The Marines are going to come in. They're actually going to target down the shield batteries and simply just kill them. There goes the healing power for the Masters player, so probes are going to have to be pulled into this. The Stalkers don't have blink yet, so they aren't being microed. And oh no, probes are being pulled into a Marine meat grinder, cutting up so many units of, or so many probes of the Masters player. The Masters player doesn't have a third, doesn't have any real tech going for him. I'm not quite sure where this game went wrong. I guess it was losing those two Stalkers initially. Everything just seems a little bit late for the Masters player. He blinks on top of the siege tank. The Immortal is just shooting Marines, not the actual tanks though, and both the tanks actually live. What a disaster for the Masters player, as his natural base is going to be crushed. AlphaStar is going to put another tally on the side of its wall just for dead Terran, or dead Protoss players, pardon me. What a total reckoning from Alpha T. The Masters player can micro these Stalkers all he wants, but he is out of here as far as this game is concerned. The AI going for a very lethal push. The Stalkers, they can micro against this tank. The tank is even going to kill the Stalkers, though. Trading out is completely fine for the AI at this point. One more Stalker may get killed. AlphaStar wants it. AlphaStar wants that Stalker, and oh no, the Stalker does get killed. The Marine might even kill a probe too. No, not a probe, but the Masters player is in such a tough spot. Then, of course, the Banshee naturally shows up to the main base of the Protoss player. There is an observer, but it is not in position to intercept this. This guy is totally just a dead nerd. This is just such a reckoning AlphaStar has unleashed. AlphaStar even trying to snipe the observer and gets it. There's nothing to see the Banshees now. AlphaStar with the big brain play to say, get out of this game. Okay, to continue on with the killing, we have got AlphaStar in the top left-hand side of the map, Alpha T, and in the bottom right, we have got Master Z. Master Zerg with that little happy star next to his face. Just gonna put a little happy star over there. And then we have got AlphaStar with no star, with that default Terran logo, I think. Alright, so we'll see what the Master Z is gonna do against AlphaStar. Of course, it's pretty tough to take on AlphaStar. AlphaStar's Terran does seem to be very strong. I'd say, if I had to define the races, I'd say AlphaStar's Zerg is based really upon its timing attacks. Like, we don't necessarily see the Zerg macro up too much. It really does tend to rely on the timing attacks. The Protoss... The Protoss is a tough one to say. I feel like I haven't cast enough AlphaStar Protoss games lately for me to really say so. I mean, it does macro up sometimes, but then a lot of the time it does just go for the timing attacks with like the Adepts and Oracles. So as far as just like macroing up goes, I'd say that it is AlphaStar's Terran that does seem to do the best, because it does make all those siege tanks, and then it just goes for an attack. But it's not necessarily, I'd say, classed as a timing attack, because it usually does take quite a while. There's usually some harassment in between that for the most part, so it's not like it entirely focuses on that one timing attack, if that makes any sense for those of you listening. Now we take a look. We have got a third hatchery on the way for the Zerg player, so very speedy for that third hatch, mining the gas too, and then everything is normal. The map being Kairos Junction once more. And then AlphaStar just going for the Reaper. Will probably start up the Marine, or actually skips a Marine this time. So nothing to really push this Overlord away, interestingly enough. Some Terran players do, some Terran players don't. Personally, I don't like having to deal with the Marine, so I'll just be like, whatever, Zerg, see what you want. Of course, then you can follow it up with other anti-air. It doesn't necessarily have to be that one Marine to shoo away the Overlords or anything like that. You can always get out a Viking. Reaper for AlphaStar, by the way, poking and prodding a little bit, but hasn't got anything. It's a nice micro from the Masters player to send that speedy boy packing. The Reaper does a bit of an unnecessary cliff jump there, just like, all right, I could totally go around here, but I got a jetpack. And to be honest, if I had a jetpack, I'd probably do the same thing. The Reaper, once again, for AlphaStar, going to be jumping on in. I'm not really sure what it's looking for here. I guess just confirmation that the Zerg's macroing up normally. Checking out the main base, being like, hey, there is no lair here. That is a good sign for me. Then just say, okay, there's no other extra gases, things like that to really show that there's going to be no pressure coming the AI's way. And it looks like the AI, after getting that scout off, will get out with the Reaper. Might be able to join it up with the Hellions as long as it takes care of that Reaper, which once again goes down that cliff, just because it can, like a boss. Now we take a look, the natural base, going to be having mules dropped at it, the Hellions on the way, the cloak on the way. Everything looking pretty darn good for the AI. The metabolic boost is on the way for the Zerg player, who is just macroing up, getting up a very healthy number of drones. We should be seeing Spore Crawlers start sooner rather than later, as there is going to be that Banshee out for AlphaStar. How many lings does the Zerg actually have? The Zerg is really skimping on lings a bit this time, I gotta say, guys. There's drones at the third base, which are in the worst possible position to mine, so the Hellions for AlphaStar are gonna come in. They're actually gonna be able to toast these up incredibly easily. That was a complete donation by the Zerg player, who now decides it's time to fire up 10 more lings in case the Hellions dive in, but if we take a look, like, he wasn't really oversaturated in his main or his natural. That's why Zerg players really want to keep the drones as far away from where the Hellions could be as possible. Like, he had them on this patch, and this patch. He could have had them all on this patch or this patch. And it's the little things like that the Hellions might not have dived all the way in due to the risk factor. It would have been a lot tougher for AlphaStar to get that damage done if he had just done that little thing. And now he's down 3 drones. So once again, little things like that in the Starcraft 2 that pay big dividends if you just make it a habit. Like, the Zerg clicked these mineral patches, should have clicked the lower ones. Little things like that. Queens are in position for the Zerg player to repel the Hellions once again. We're also seeing Spore Crawlers get up, so the Zerg player will be fine from the Banshee harassment for the most part. Most likely anyway. Of course, AlphaStar always gets a little bit of damage done, but then drones on the way, a lair on the way, the Zerg player getting that +1 carapace. Looking pretty good. The Banshee, not able to get anything done due to that Spore Crawler's placement, is now looking around for anything in the main base. Going to start shooting the Queen, but the Queen, she runs to the Spore Crawler, and she should be fine. Going to start dealing damage to the Banshee, costing it HP if it wants to kill any drones, which is usually what you want to do as the Zerg player. So the Banshee gets 3 drones, but then we'll have to go away. Marines actually came out for AlphaStar. What on earth is this? Marines came out and are actually aiding AlphaStar in killing the Queens. The Lings do come forward to get a surround on this. That was odd from the AI. Wow, I didn't expect that. Clearly, as I wasn't even looking there. But oh, AlphaStar with 2 Banshees now baits out the Queen, is going to start shooting the spawning pool of its opponent, and this could actually be really, really bad for the Zerg player, but he does seemingly repel the Banshee. Should be able to save the pool, I think. That Queen does have a transfuse too. She can transfuse it to keep it alive. You probably want to do that, or at the very least start up another spawning pool. What are you doing, Master Zerg player? There's the transfuse to keep that alive. The Spore Crawler probably should be repositioning. There's another transfuse getting dumped into it. Will the Banshee be shooed away? It looks like it will. The Zerg player, though, starting to float a bit of money. Not starting another spawning pool amidst that makes me a little bit worried. Like, if that gets picked off right now, the Zerg player can make literally nothing. Literally no fighting units, as they don't have a Roach Warren. They're just getting up an Infestation Pit and a Baneling Nest. And as far as units go, too, I really, really would like to see just a lot more units get made. Probably a 4th base thrown up, too. The Master Zerg player starting to float a bit too much money for my liking. Yeah, I mean, he's making a few lings here and there, but he's got 15 or 6 lings with 26 more on the way. Firing up a lot more Queens. I'm not sure how I feel about more Queens being made. I mean, having some consistently for creep spread is good, I guess. But they're not going to help you defend too much at this stage in the game once the Terran really gets established. And that's why I'd like to see a 4th base get started for the Zerg player. Like, he's got the money, he could throw up 2 4th bases. A 4th and a 5th, get up a macro hatchery, making a couple swarm hosts. Now, I'm wondering if this is an accident, and these are supposed to indeed be infestors or something, but as I see more and more swarm hosts getting made, the likelihood of this being an accident, I figure, goes down and down. So we're going to be seeing swarm host against AlphaStar's bio. The Spire also gets started for the Masters player, but yeah, playing pretty darn odd. It does end up throwing up 2 more hatcheries, which is good to see at least. Then the Hive gets started up, +1, Centrifugal Hooks 2. This is looking pretty darn good for the Masters Zerg player. Stim Pack is on the way too, +1 armor on the way for the AI, so just rocking that single eBay that's producing at the minute. It actually has 2, but has yet to build an armory to allow those better upgrades to be researched. So a pretty straightforward macro game this match, and if I must say, the Zerg player, while not macroing perfectly, is getting out the Swarm Host, is keeping a fairly even supply to AlphaStar, like it's 75 army supply to 60, which isn't bad for the Zerg. The Zerg is also making a decent number of Banelings too. Part of the reason why the Zerg has just been able to have this free reign is that AlphaStar, for the most part, has just been sitting back and relaxing, but oh no, the Swarm Host are out on the map, and there is indeed Banshees moving out. AlphaStar, with the constant Banshee play, is now potentially going to find this hatchery, be able to get a kill. The Locusts are going to crash towards the natural base of the Terran, though, potentially kill a lot of SCVs. We'll see. They land just right on those Marines. So not getting the damage wanted there. The Banshees come on in. This Queen's going to try and shoo them away. There is the Spore Crawler, but it's wildly out of position now, so those drones are going to have to reposition. Corruptors are being made to help deal with the Banshees, but yeah, those drones, they got to run right next to that Spore Crawler. Queen comes in. She could transfuse and save the pool. She didn't do that, though. We're going to need to see another pool get started right away for the Masters player, like yesterday. That needs to get fired up. And Ultra Cavern is building as well for the Zerg player, but oh man, AlphaStar's Banshees just have such a knack to get damage done. There's an Overseer coming in, but it's coming in so late. The Zerg player's having to rebuild so many drones that he just lost there. He just lost like 20 drones or so, something like that. And now we see AlphaStar is moving across the map, looking to go for a big push. The Zerg player just fired up about 20 drones. Doesn't have a spawning pool, can't make any more lings. It's all going to be on the Banelings that he's already got made, which is 31. It's not a bad count, but take a look at how many Marines and how many siege tanks there are. I don't think there's a hope in hell of this base being saved. The Zerg player really would need Ultras to help deal with this. Banelings are morphing. They might be able to get a bit of a surround on this army, but look at that. Banelings coming from the rear side. Get absolutely nothing done due to those siege tanks. The Zerg army is just gone. And AlphaStar bags another one. Easy peasy. Okay, now before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. Consider becoming a member if you do want to support the content. I'll see you next time. This has been LaughNgamez. Thanks for watching.